Welcome in to episode number 63 of the Cheesehead and the Bear podcast. We have Cheesehead number one, Connor Kelly.
Cheesehead number 2 signing in.
Signing in. Got the Bear, Brennan Elgis.
Got the Viking, Alex Rudinger.
And today we have a pretty short list of topics we are going to talk about, but we are going to go in depth on both of these topics. We're going to be basically predicting our all offensive rookie team for next season in the NFL and our all rookie defensive team next year. And then we are obviously going to be talking about the NBA playoffs and some finishing series, some heartbreak, but obviously, as always, starting off with our sports starters. We'll go Viking, Bear, and then the Cheeseheads. Viking, what is your sports starter today?
So my sports starter is going to be about George Kittle signing a 4-year, $76.4 million contract extension with $40 million guaranteed. What do we think about that, boys?
It's a good sports starter.
Dude, this Prism Break George Kittle card I pulled the other day is about to go through the roof.
Dude, I think he's frozen, so I'm going to take over. There was a report that came out that some team was possibly throwing out a second-round pick for him on draft night. Any guess? Any guess on what team that was?
Who needs a tight end?
I don't know. He didn't say, so I don't know the answer. I just
Right.
want to know what your guys' opinion is.
Dolphins, maybe?
Dolphins? Okay.
Dolphins, maybe the Colts before they draft. Oh wait, maybe before they drafted Tyler Warren. I don't know.
Well, if it was at the first round?
Well, it was a second-round pick, but I don't know.
Because if it was before, like, the first round went, I could definitely see the Colts. Because they probably weren't expecting Tyler Warren to fall.
I mean, obviously I'm on Bears Twitter, but there was a lot of speculation that it was Chicago that threw a second round for George Kittle, because he's from he's from Chicago, so he always talks good about the Bears, so they were making fun jokes about that. The Bears were the team that sent out a possible second round pick for him on draft night. But yeah,
Well, I know
I
it
like
wasn't the
I like
Vikings.
I like.
We
No,
don't
it
have a
was
second
not.
round.
I like it for the 49ers, and I'm hoping they have a bounce back year this year. I won't lie.
I mean, he's 31. It was a 4-year contract. I mean, he's still playing really well. So.
Yeah, I mean, a 4-year deal's a little crazy. I mean, shout out to him. I mean, personally, I think he is overall the best tight end in the league still. Like,
Stamp.
just for value of, like, he can catch, he can run, he can block. Like, overall, he's the best tight end in my opinion. But a 4-year deal seems like kind of a lot. Like, a 35-year-old Kittle, like, might not be doing anything this last year.
How old is Kelsey though? 36?
He's 35 or
35.
36.
35?
I would.
So,
I'm
But I
assuming
think
it's
he's retiring after this
3 year.
year.
Yeah, they could probably get off of it on the after the third year, so 33,
Yeah, probably.
whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think we've had this conversation before. I think tight end is one of those positions you can just play kind of forever. You don't really have
Yeah,
to
right.
do too much. And he can just block.
Yeah.
You know what I
I feel
mean?
your value drops a lot though once you get older. Like Kittle's value is going to drop a lot once he gets older with how much he does.
That's fair.
and he gets injured a decent amount too. I'm not gonna lie.
He does.
He does.
He's been battling with some injuries, so it'll be interesting to see if he can manage those injuries. Because the older you get, man, the harder it becomes to recover.
What do we?
Yeah.
All right, my
Yeah.
sports starter
The band.
is not sport related, but it's been going around all over the internet. Alex is just gonna keep coming in and out, so shout out him. If you guys want to text him and tell him, because
He just sent something.
iPhones. Okay. Basically, it's going all over the internet. Wish Alex was here, but Mason and Connor, gorilla versus 100 men. Who wins?
Oh my! It's
100 men
100
and it's
men.
not close.
100 men. Eventually,
Like-
we're gonna get fucked up pretty early, but eventually, 70 dudes are just gonna be on top of this gorilla, choking it out, like holding it down. Like the gorilla's gonna get scared. Like that's the thing; it would just run away. So I mean, but
Okay,
if it's
so, like-
in a cage, yes,
like a
100 men.
like a shot up, super raged gorilla, not a
Well,
scared.
that's not it. That's not what it is.
Like,
It's just a
he was
regular
saying that
gorilla.
it's gonna like run away. Like everyone knows they're fighting to the death. It's
Yeah.
it's 100 Masons. Does it still win? Do the men still win?
Honestly, I think it might. Here's the thing: if it's in a cage, right? Like it can't possibly run away, and the people can't run away. If you have 100 people who know that they are going to fight a gorilla, and every one of them is like, "Fuck it, I'm ready to die," I
Yeah.
think they're going to win. Like, sure, are people going to die?
Mm,
100%, the gorilla
for
is
sure.
going to kill some people,
Uh-huh.
but 100 people piling on it nonstop, and there's no rules, bro. Gouge the eyes out. Like you're fighting for your life. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna make sure that you get out of there, or you beat this thing.
I wanna see if we can build like just a quick super team that we think could just do it super
Oh, I
easy.
got you with the quick like 5 or 7.
Okay, give me
John
some.
Jones,
Okay,
Tom Aspinall,
okay,
Eddie Hall,
okay.
World's Strongest Man,
Hmm.
Brian Shaw, World's Strongest Man,
Yep, yep,
Brock Lesnar,
yep.
um,
I saw the thing. It said Brock Lesnar's daughter, and I started laughing so hard.
um, that like Thor, or I don't think his name's Thor.
Yeah,
Maybe it is the
yeah,
guy
yep,
from Game of Thrones, the
yep,
Mountain.
uh-huh,
Him.
yep, yep. And then
There was
and then I
another
think
guy
that's
too.
good. And then the
Mark
rest.
Henry.
Okay, Mark Henry, that's fine. And then the rest, crackheads.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Florida crackheads,
Yep,
easiest win of their life.
they are immortal. So,
Just get dudes running at them with no regard of where they are or what they're doing, and then that's when you bring all the big bodies.
uh, but then I think I think Connor's been just like sending stuff in the TikTok chat. I'm the only one that sees it, and it was like the thing about like the gorilla going to attack the men, and then the background in the sky was Harambe, and he's like mess these guys up, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Gorilla,
that was so funny. If the gorilla started to look in the sky and then turned back, and Harambe said, "Kill these guys," we easily lose.
that's
For
so funny.
Harambe.
There's so many videos of like that, and one more, and then we can move on. It was like person 99 and 100, and it was the guy. It's like a random guy, and then 100 is the guy that shot Harambe, and the guy's like, "Yeah, this gorilla's not that big. I shot it, so like I know like what about gorillas and stuff. I'm a zookeeper." And the guy's like, "Oh, you think you can take it?" He's like, "Yeah, it's not that big." He's like, "All right, dude. I don't think you can do it." He starts like hyping him up to get him out there, and he starts killing him. Oh my god, it was so funny. You had to be there. All right. Anyways,
Yeah,
next.
100 men for sure.
Okay.
Yep. Science will tell you 100 men.
Yeah. Mace, you got a sports star?
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna go Cheesehead number one, and
I
then
can go.
Oh,
Cheesehead.
I got mine
I'm
ready.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Whatever.
I got two actually pretty quick.
Cool.
One of them, I'll make it a little bit shorter. Jordan Travis, the rookie the Jets drafted last year, officially retired from the NFL at 24 years old. Um, I know there were some talks about, when the Jets were kind of worrying about their quarterback situation. One of mine was like, hey, get Jordan Travis in there. He led their team to an 11-0 record while he was in college, and then, tore his knee in half pretty much, which sucks, but, he still got drafted. I thought, hey, maybe give him a chance. Then it came out just sometime, I think, this week or last week that he officially retired, and his knee was just not getting any better. And all the people that looked at it said, I think it's best for you to retire. It's never going to get back into 100% shape. So he unfortunately retired from the NFL at 24. What could have been, if he didn't get injured, he could have been absolutely amazing. Um, then another one from Asa, who just called me before we started recording. What do you guys think about the Matt LaFleur Ben Johnson beef?
What? I don't even know what the hell's going on right now.
I don't think it's really beef,
It's
right?
it's I don't think it's actually real, but Matt LaFleur was on a podcast. I think it was Barstools, and then
Yeah.
I think Big Cat asked him like, "Is there beef between you and Ben Johnson?" And he was like, No, he was a little bit hesitant. I think it's just like a really competitive drive between these two because Ben Johnson said, I think one of the reasons he wanted to go to the Bears is because he liked beating Matt LaFleur twice each year. So there's a little bit of like a little jab in there. But I had to bring it up for him because I think it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yes, wow.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope the
I don't think
Bears.
it's actually real, but
No. I
there's definitely some.
It's definitely not bad blood. It's like you said. I think they're both hella competitive, so they really want to win these two games this upcoming season. I think we split. I won't lie. I think we can. The Bears can at least take one in Chicago. I'm hoping, or Caleb can get another one in his home up in Lambeau. But yeah, I'm excited for the season. I don't think it's real beef. And then talking about the Jordan Travis, that sucks, man. I was talking to like some pick a side guys that are both Jets fans, and I'm like, before Justin Fields got signed, I'm like, yo, what is going on with this Jordan Travis guy? And they're both like, nah, he's just, we don't want him to start. And I'm like, okay, well, and I just looked it up. He was a fifth round pick, so it's not like, and
It's that
obviously it
injury,
sucks
dude.
for him, but it's like they're not really losing too much value with him, retiring, which still sucks. But yeah, turn off injuries, man. Injuries just suck, and they're not good for anything.
Dude, in Florida State, man, they just took a huge fucking dive after that dude got hurt. They went from like being a championship team to barely making the championship with their like backup quarterback, got blown out, and then like the past two
Yeah.
seasons, I think they've won like 5 or 6 games combined. It's what
If
a
he
fucking
never got hurt, dude, he could have been the Jaden Daniels
special
last year,
dude. He
like
was really,
100%.
really
He was
good.
very good, and then everyone got super pissed when they didn't get into the college playoffs, and then
Yeah.
I think they won like lost their next game like big, but it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
got destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but moving on, last sports starter here. The San Antonio Spurs are hiring Mitch Johnson, and Greg Popovich is now out as head coach after 29 years. Won 5 NBA titles, man. I think he is my GOAT coach. Most wins all time,
I think
five
that's
titles. He's got to be my
unanimous.
GOAT, in my opinion. And just the character and the human being he is, man, just congrats on a great coaching career. And he's still with the organization. I think he's going to be like head of the front office or
Yeah,
something
I think
like
he's
that.
president of something.
President, yeah, some position like that. But hopefully he stays healthy and, can see maybe Wemby get a title in his lifetime. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I go. Sorry,
No,
Connor.
I
Were
had
you?
nothing. I had nothing.
Okay.
I had nothing.
Um, you guys know my take on like the GOAT status and everything. I got to see these guys coach. Obviously, I didn't see Phil Jackson coach too much with the Bulls back in the '90s. I was barely, alive, breathing in '99. But yeah, Coach Pop is definitely my GOAT. I watched him. I've seen all the majority of the championships. I would say almost all of them. And yeah, hopefully that he gets healthy and watches Wemby get a title. That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
So,
that would be cool.
but
Yeah. Eric Spoelstra, I was just kind of wondering about this, but like, where is he like on your guys' list? Like, is he like a top 5 coach for you guys all
like
time?
all
Like,
time or like in the league right now?
I would just say all time, like top 10. Is he in
Probably,
your
I
top
wouldn't
10?
say top five yet, but like
Yeah,
he's really good.
you got to think of all the as my cat's playing
Right.
with a toy nice that he's never played with before. You got to think of like the all those like Celtics teams that won all those titles in
Right.
1920s. But no, I mean
Bruce.
as a coach in general, he's definitely got to be up there. But just
Yeah.
I don't know if he has enough accolades, which is sad.
Right. I was just curious because I see people on the internet always hyping up Spolstra and saying he's one of the greatest too, and or Spolstra's better than Pop, and it's like, all right, like wow, holy shit.
I think if like once Pop is retired and like out for next year, right? I think then Spo would then take the number one spot in the league as of
Currently,
tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah,
currently
I
for
agree.
sure.
I 100% agree with that one. Yeah, he's
And
a
then
solid coach.
Doc, and then it, I'm just kidding.
Yikes.
I can't, oh my God, we'll talk about it later with the Bucks, man. But man, this offseason
Yeah,
could be so funny
scary.
and
And
sad at
just a
the
little
same
heads up for the audience as well. Alex is having some issues, so he might not be back this episode. So if you don't
time.
hear him, that is why.
Boo and hiss.
That
Okay.
is a-okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe have him send
Some of
one
his
of us
players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
have them
team.
send
Yeah.
Connor a
I'll
text and get your
text him.
players.
So
Cool.
then, yeah, you can just Connor. If he gets him, he will be going over Alex's team. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna transition into our transition.
Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I needed to do it.
We're gonna start. You guys want to start with defense or offense?
Offense for sure.
Offense. We're going to start with our offensive rookie team. So what we're doing, we're basically just going to predict the best stats, like who's going to have the best season next year at each position. But we're going to do a quarterback, a running back. We're going to do 3 receivers, a tight end, and then each position on the offensive line. Would you guys like to start? In my opinion, let's just kind of start with the offensive line and then go into position players.
I'm
Okay,
down.
Cool.
that works.
Do we want to do Brennan? We'll do the Bear. Cheesehead number 1, Cheesehead number 2.
What do you want to start with?
Let's just go left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right
Sweet.
tackle. No,
Left to right. Love that.
yeah,
So
can't
my
left.
left tackle bid for the All-Pro rookie team is going to be Will Campbell, LSU Patriots left tackle. That is going to be
That's who
mine.
I have as well. I
I
think that
will.
one's
I
pretty
will flip that.
obvious.
And I think, and obviously I want Alex here. I'm not happy that he's gone at all, but I think with the three, it's going to be good because then we can kind of figure out who we're going to pick. But then my left guard going in is going to be Gray Zabel, Seahawks left guard. That is my bid for that.
That was in. Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to be left or right, so I did put him at left too, and that's also I have Gray Zabel
I
easily.
have Gray Zabel on my team, but I have him at right guard because they just have him as guards on ESPN, so I didn't know if it was
Mhm.
left or right, so I just put him at right.
Mhm.
But for my left guard, I did have Donovan Jackson, the guy
Okay.
from the Vikings.
That's who I
Yep.
have as my right guard.
That's who I
So
have for my
Okay,
right
it's
as
cool.
well.
So I just switched him. That's fine.
Yep. Yep. And I had honorable mention. I have some honorable mentions here for some of the guys, but for some of the positions, it would just be Booker. I think he's gonna
Yeah.
get thrown in right away and have to perform because he's such a high pick and everyone's shitting on the pick. But
Yeah.
I have Donovan Jackson. I'm gonna say that now without Alex. Shout out him again. I have Donovan Jackson as my right guard and then Zabel as my left guard.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I the reason why I put Zabel at left guard is it's just, I think that the left side holds more value with primarily right-handed quarterbacks. So I think
Yeah,
Zabel
that's
is
fair.
going to be better than Jackson. I mean, Gray Zabel was taking snaps at center in his state title game, so that dude can move
He can
all
play
over
everywhere,
the
which is
offensive
good.
line. So I mean, fuck it, he could be center too. So
I really love that pick for the Seahawks, man. They're
Yeah, it's a really
all
good pick.
all the K9 and the Charbonnet dynasty owners or fantasy owners. The line just got better. So
good
I mean,
choice, man.
they were one of the worst lines in football last year, and they just got better, which is good.
Yeah,
And then my center, obviously, if you looked at the positions for ESPN, there was only three options,
yeah.
and I just put Jared Wilson, the Patriots
Yep,
center.
so did I.
He was just the highest pick. I mean, we're not going to pretend like we know everything about the line. This would be a good segment for Asa, but yeah, I just picked Jared Wilson because he was one of the three in the highest.
I also
Looks
saw
like he's
like
going to be good though.
Yeah,
some analyst like graded like or chose like the best pick from each round, and I saw like two guys said Jared Wilson was the best third round pick. So
interesting.
obviously he's got some high value there.
Yeah, I mean the center there right now is the former Viking, and I don't think he was the greatest. So
Yeah.
this could be a very fast just push in and figure it out with Drake May.
Dude, this guy's
You guys,
6'3". This
you
guy's
guys
six
hear that
three
by the
three.
way?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But he's six
Yeah,
three 310 and ran a 4.8 440.
right. Dude,
That's
the Patriots,
insane.
like the Patriots might be decent. Like they had a really, really good draft. Will Campbell at left tackle. They got a new center, new running back. I mean,
And I
watch
mean,
out.
say what you want, but I mean, they got Stephon Diggs in the offseason,
Right,
the target for Drake May. Like, they could
right.
really be something.
Yeah, they just don't have a quarterback, which sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. All right, that was
Okay.
the line.
Oh wait, no, right tackle.
We have
Oh,
right
sorry,
tackle
sorry,
still.
sorry. Right tackle. I was talking about it as the biggest deal of the first round last episode. I have Simmons. Justin, I think it's Justin Simmons. I believe. Nope,
Josh.
that's the Josh.
Josh.
There we go. Justin Simmons is the safety.
Yep,
Josh
that's what I have as
Simmons
well.
is the right tackle for me. That is my selection for the Chiefs. I think he just gets slid in there after mini camp and all that. If you look at the depth chart, he's number 2 right now, the second string, but you could easily, if he's healthy, get pushed right into that right tackle position.
For sure. Yeah, I think that was a steal. To get a player that good at that spot is also just unbelievable because fuck the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is
I went with Calvin Banks Jr. here for the Saints.
Ooh, okay, no one picked Membu. Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. I like
I
that.
think the Jets really are just going to struggle with the line and pressure. I don't know why. They always do. So for some reason, the Saints they suck, but I think he'll play well for a really
Yeah,
shitty team.
that's kind of the
That's
same reason I picked this guy because there was a couple options in the first round, but I think just because the Chiefs are so good and their coaching's really well, I think he's gonna,
Yes.
if he gets in, like he's going to perform because that's
He
what the
was,
Chiefs
yeah.
do. So I think even if not necessarily like he might not have the greatest year, they're probably going to give up maybe like minimal sacks or something. Like the offensive line's going to play good, and he's going to be a part of that, where he's going to get the credit for.
Right.
And like, shout out Calvin Banks. Connor, I love you so much. The Saints quarterback that they drafted, everyone's ripping on him. Every video I
Dude,
see, and
he's
every time
so
That
ass.
video where he just throws like a bullet like way off. Oh my god, it's so
every
funny.
time I think I see a video of someone shin on him, I just think of Connor, and it's so funny. It's so
Dude,
funny.
he's so that video of the guy who made a diss track of the Saints
Yes,
was one of the
yes.
funniest things I'd ever seen. Did you watch that video, Mason?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, you bum! It's so funny. Some guy made a diss track of his own team. And he's like rapping, and he says something like, "They're supposed to be good, but they drafted a white quarterback." Dude, it's so funny.
Oh, a
Got
really
got
shitty white
got to
quarterback.
tap in on TikTok, dude. You probably have 50 notifications on that app right now, at least.
Uh, no, I don't have notifications on
Ah,
TikTok.
That makes
damn.
sense. After this podcast, go
Yeah.
watch the video I sent of the diss track of the Saints. It's so funny.
Oh my god, there's gonna be like 5 million in my inbox. Holy
What do we?
shit.
Probably.
Oh my god, I haven't checked anything since like March.
All right, cool.
Oh
Well,
god.
that's the
All right,
line.
yeah. Well, that was the offensive line.
Honestly, I feel like we're all going to have pretty similar skill positions too, to be honest.
Yeah. Do we want to start with quarterback, running back, or start from tight end and go up?
I
You
think
you
we start
decide,
with
brother.
quarterback.
Let's start with
Quarterback.
quarterback and go down, and we'll end with tight end here. So again, same order. Brennan, who is your best quarterback for next season?
I was gonna make a joke, but I started laughing before I even could get it out. I was
I
gonna say
saw that.
Shador Sanders, but I no. My pick is easily gonna be Cam Ward. I think he's literally the only quarterback that's probably gonna be a day one starter, and doesn't have to win out on a battle. And I think Cam Ward is gonna be. And it's not gonna be anything impressive. I don't. I'm not expecting him to throw for 4,000, but he's just the only quarterback I think that gets a day one start.
Yeah, same here. I mean, number one overall pick. You expect him to be pretty good. He's going into a decent situation for him, I think. And like Brennan said, he's really going to be the only guy starting. Honorable mention: if this guy were to start, I think he could have a run for some money, which I don't think he's gonna. I think Jalen Milrow
Yeah.
could also have a fantastic season if he were to get the start or actually play. I don't think he's gonna play at all, but if he was getting the starting spot, I think Jalen Milrow could put in some competition.
That's exactly what I had when I was making my list. I had like Ward and Milrow, but obviously I got to go with Cam Ward here. It's the best situation. Number one overall pick. He's going to be playing his ass off. So Cam Ward for sure. Running back. This is going to be an interesting position here.
I didn't pick the obvious. My pick is not Genty, because we're also going off fit, and I just don't think the line is good enough in Las Vegas personally, for him to have. I'm not saying he's gonna have a bad season, but I think Omarion Hampton for the Chargers is just gonna get pumped with carries. I mean, they're gonna find out real fast that Najee's not good, and I think that Omarion Hampton and the Chargers line with Joe Alt, Slater, those enormous men on that line, and Harbaugh loves to run the ball, and I think Omarion Hampton wins. I could say rookie of the year, honestly, offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. But my for this experiment, I'm gonna do Omarion Hampton as my running back.
I have
Love
the
that.
same thing. Um,
Fire.
I mean, looking at Genty, is he the best running back in the class? I would say yes. But he was also going behind a good line when he was in college. In the Vegas line is just not that good compared to all these defenses. Um, as well as they also do have Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, so they have a solid offense, and I think they're going to be down in a lot of games, and running the ball is probably not going to be a primary thing for that team. So I think they're going to be airing the ball out a lot more, maybe taking away a lot of his carries and stuff like that. So I just don't think that he's going to have the best year. And like Brendan said, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He could explode, and that honestly I wouldn't be too surprised. But if we're going off fit, who has the best chance to actually make the all rookie team and like be the best running back in this class, I do think it's Amarian Hampton, being behind a good line. I mean, they have Justin Herbert, they have Lad McConkey, but I think, especially with their coaching, they're going to be able to fit him in really well and, kind of spread out the offensive plays, get him carries, and then, air it out deep later. But I think he has the best situation.
I would, yeah. I was between Hampton and the guy I chose, so I didn't choose Hampton here. And I also didn't go Ashton Genty, I didn't go Quinshon Judkins just because I think that the Cleveland's offensive line is pretty freaking bad. I'm gonna go on a limb and say Ramondre Stevenson sucks ass and Travion Henderson
Ooh,
for the New England
Hey,
Patriots with a good offensive line now with Will
yeah.
Campbell, Jared Wilson. I think he's a great pass catcher. He's a great blocker. He's got speed. Played at Ohio State alongside Judkins and still got insane stats. I think Travion Henderson's gonna put up a really good year for the New England Patriots.
my honorable mention was going to be R.J. Harvey, actually, the
Ooh,
running back for the
That's a good
Broncos.
pick. That's a good
Broncos.
pick.
That's a
I, I,
beautiful
I,
pick.
I'd like to make a bet if any of you want. I think he has more than the Patriots dude. I think RJ has more than Henderson. But if you don't want to make that, we can talk later about that. But I think RJ
I feel like
Harvey.
that's a bet you can only make once you actually see the season start. Because I don't know. I don't know. It depends. I'm pretty sure. Are they both starting as backups?
I
Because
mean,
RJ Harvey might start, but I think
I would
the
say
Patriots
Harvey
guy is
might.
going to be second string.
yeah, I suppose I think RJ Harvey would get an advantage because Ramondre Stevenson is definitely there.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be
Yeah.
behind them, or at least 1A or 1B. He'll be Henderson. But no, I think just in general, we can talk about later. But RJ Harvey is could just go in and be a beast.
Yeah, he
They have
really could be.
I think they don't have Javante. I think they have McMillan or whatever that guy's name is, or
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. He stinks, and
Patrick
they have that like
Estime.
Estime. But no, they brought my buddy at work was telling me about him. I'll give him a shout out. The UCF guy, he's a beast. So I'm excited to see him. And then we can do wide receivers unless you guys have anything
Yep.
about running backs. Do
Nope.
you just want? Can I just give my three, or do you want to do one at a time?
I think you give your three, and then we'll,
Do
we'll
my
go.
three.
Cool.
Okay. So this isn't any order. These are just my wide receivers that I'm going to have on my team. At the end of the year, these are the most productive wide receivers. So I think all of us will have an anonymous or what am I saying?
Unanimous.
There we
Unanimous.
go. Thank you. My first wide receiver is going to be Ted McMillan. I
I
think
also have
that's
Ted
just an
McMillan.
easy pick for everyone. Connor, do you
Yep.
got that?
Yep.
He's
Perfect.
my number one too. Like wide receiver one out of this. He's gonna be the
Yeah,
best.
for sure.
My next one, because I had to put him in here somewhere, and I don't think he's going to be on the defensive side, so I'm going to put Travis Hunter as my wide receiver two. It's not in order, like I said. And then my last one, curveball, is going to be Jaden Higgins. He's the wide
Mm,
receiver, 6'4", Houston wide receiver. I just think him and Nico Collins both being enormous guys, and he was very productive in college. He's gonna get a fast connection with C.J. Stroud, and it's gonna be insane. I think those three are gonna be my pick.
Love it.
nice. So I also had Ted McMillan, obviously. Um, he's really good. He's definitely going to be the best wide receiver in this draft class, in my opinion. Number two, I do have Matthew Golden.
Hell
Maybe a little
yeah.
bit of a bias pick,
Woo!
but I think he really
What
is going to come in.
bias?
I think he really is going to come into this team and be the number one target. So I think out of a lot of the wide receivers in this class, if you're looking at, targets and like how many times they're going to actually look at this guy, give him receptions and yards, I think Matthew Golden has some of the most potential out of all the wide receivers in this class. Um, as well as I also had Jaden Higgins as well. I was honestly between him and Luther Burden, but to be honest, the Bears' offense, there's so many mouths to feed that I don't think that he's going to get that many reps or like targets, I guess. Like with DJ Moore still being there,
You
now
could say the same
Rome.
thing for Mr. Golden. There is all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
but Golden's going to be like the one or the two right away. Luther Burden's behind DJ Moore, Rome, Cole Kmet,
You think?
your tight end, and they're running the ball.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I just want your opinion. You think he's just automatically the one on the depth chart? You think?
One or the two, yeah. I
Okay.
think I think possibly it's probably Jaden Reed still being the one because he's proven himself, and I think Golden's going to be the two. Just because we don't know what Christian Watson is. I mean, and that could definitely change if Christian Watson actually gets healthy, but I just don't know if we can trust it. And going into this offseason, I really don't know if we're going to keep Romeo Dobbs. I think we do, but it's just there's a lot of questions in the air with that. Um, and if so, I mean, if we have Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden out there, I think Golden's going to get more target shares than Romeo Dobbs will. Just because, if anything, people are going to be more worried about Dobbs and Reed, and Golden's going to get open.
Yeah, we should probably put out a poll and see what the people think. What spot on the depth chart he is from the Packer fans see. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I also think Matthew Golden automatically just goes into that one slot because of the draft and the fact that he's our first wide receiver, first round draft pick in
But he's number
2024.
22, which is gross. I won't lie. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
don't like that number at all. I actually liked what was it, 81 at first? I thought that was like
80,
perfect.
yeah, no, 84 because everyone was talking about Sharp.
Yeah, whatever. Like I didn't care. It's perfect. And now 22 is like, whatever. Don't care. I do
Sky
think
Moore.
he's the one. I think he is the one. I think it's Golden, Reed, Dobbs, Watson, Wicks. Those are the five. But
Bo.
I know, God damn it, son of a bitch, not Bo. But yeah, why I said that? I do not have Matthew Golden on this list. I think like you were talking about, too many mouths to feed. Same with Luther Burden. I think he's got too many mouths to feed. I think Luther will have like a Rome type of season, like kind of what Rome did last year, nearing that like 500, 600 yards.
I would
Because I
have
think
agreed
Rome
with
takes a
that if
step
they
up.
didn't draft another tight end. So that's why I think they're going to be doing a lot more in the tight end schemes, which makes me
Yeah.
think he's going to get even less reps, which is just why I couldn't put him in.
Bro, you guys drafted another wide receiver too. You got to remember that
I know,
TCU
I
guy
know.
came in. So
But that's what I think he might
Damian
honestly
Williams,
come in,
yeah.
and that's why like Dobbs and some other people are out because if we're gonna play him, like he's gonna come in as like the 4 or the 5, but we're gonna have to get rid of people. So it all just
you also
depends,
got to
really.
assume Christian Watson won't be ready week 1
Oh
in my
God,
That's
no.
exactly
opinion.
what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah. Well, to give my wide receivers again, Tet McMillan, number one, easily. Number two, I have Jaden Higgins filling in that number 2 slot for the Houston Texans. And number 3 for me, I have Trey Harris for the Chargers out of Ole Miss.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
think he fits perfectly into that scheme with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Him and Lad McConkey, I think, could be a scary duo because Josh Palmer is not out of there. I really don't know who else is on that Chargers team. Hayden Hurst,
Quentin
I think,
Johnston,
maybe.
get out of
Quentin Johnson,
town,
that's
buddy.
That
right.
guy
Yeah,
sucks.
exactly. I always forget that dude's name just because I don't think he's all that. So I think Trey Harris is going to be, that wide receiver 3 on my team.
I do have Alex's team now.
Okay,
He just
just
sent it to me.
do the skill players for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. It's in like a graph setting, and I don't know what happened. It kind of freaked out for Alex. But quarterback, he's got Cam Ward, pretty obvious. Running back, he does have Ashton Genty.
Okay.
He thinks
Like it.
Genty's going to be the one, so he
Well, he's
has
a Raiders
them.
fan.
Yep, fair enough, fair
Remember
enough.
ours?
Wide receivers, he has Tet, he has Matthew Golden, and he also has Emeka Egbuka, the guy from the who got drafted to the Bucks.
Buccaneers.
Yeah,
Nice.
so those are
Okay.
his 3 wide receivers.
That's fire.
And his offensive line, he has Donovan Jackson, like we all did. He has the center Wilson, like we did. He has Gray Zabel, and he also has Calvin Banks as well.
Okay.
And
Nice.
he's missing
Left
Will
Center.
tackle.
Campbell.
Yeah, but
So
he definitely would have
I'm
had
sure he
Will
put him in, but like he said, the graph like kind of messed some stuff up. But I'm
Sure.
sure he had Will Campbell in there somewhere. Um,
I'm,
and then we'll
I'm,
get to tight end here.
I don't want to be a spoiler, but neither of you had Travis Hunter.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right, cool. I love
don't
that
like Trevor
actually.
Lawrence, dude. I do not like Trevor Lawrence. I don't like this Jags team.
You don't have to tell me, bro.
But obviously, like I think he's got the best opportunity to be on this list
I
besides Ted
gotcha.
McMillan. I just
I gotcha.
kind of wanted to be a little different too.
Love it.
I think he's a good wide receiver, and all these other wide receivers that we mentioned are like great wide receivers with better potential. Just because I think he was a good corner and he was a good wide receiver, but he wasn't great at one spot.
Yeah, I would definitely if Travis Hunter like just plays too much where his production isn't all there. I'm gonna hop on that Trey Harris train. I think the Chargers offense could be fun with
Yep.
all their weapons. I guess you could say that they have. And then moving over to tight end, I'm probably gonna get outvoted here, which is totally fine. But I'm gonna throw my bias out here. I'm gonna go Loveland.
Yeah,
Love it.
I think it's Tyler Warren. I think his production's going to be more, especially like I already said. There's just a lot of mouths to feed in Chicago, and you still do have Cole Kmet, who has proven that he is a good tight end, and he can have some good production. So I think it's just going to be Tyler Warren overall, especially not knowing who's going to be the quarterback, either Anthony Richardson or Danny Dimes. I think both of those guys are not very good, so they're going to be looking for a big body tight end to get like 5 yards and get the confidence back up and keep the drive going. I think he's going to be the guy.
That's
I
I
wanted to, I
That's
wanted to be different. But I also do really like it. So
fan.
I didn't go Tyler Warren, just because I think Colts. I don't know what the hell's going on. Jonathan Taylor's going to be there. I think they're going to try to get their receivers involved. Tyler Warren's going to just do a little bit of everything, so I don't think his stats are going to be popping. Colston Loveland, I think, was the better pick. I think he fits the Bears better than Warren, but I still don't have him. Going with Terrence Ferguson, out of Oregon on the Rams.
Rams. Okay.
I think
That's
Tyler
actually a really
Higbee
good
is.
pick
I
too.
think Tyler Higbee's out of there. I
Yeah,
think, Matthew Stafford's going to be slinging that motherfucking rock with Devontae and Puka. I think Terrence Ferguson fits in nicely. I think he's going to be getting a lot of red zone targets.
I'd
Yeah, I
agree.
thought you were
That's a
going.
good
I
pick.
thought you were going Fanning, dude. I thought the Cleveland Browns uh,
No,
tight end you were gonna go. He led the football NCAA football last
FBS,
year.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
could be very good. Probably will be, but I don't
Ferguson's
know.
name.
Njoku's
That's
still
fair.
there, isn't he? So
Did who was Alex's tight end?
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. He has a tight end that one of us said. So he's going to be going on our team, and he has Tyler Warren.
Warren. Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. I obviously that's his production will probably be better. If it's Anthony Richardson more than 6 games, I don't think Tyler Warren puts up anything, dude. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
you
lie.
never know.
Exactly.
I just think he gets the most production.
Daniel Jones will throw it to him. Will it be to him? I don't know. Anthony Richardson, I just don't think has it in his brain to throw it from 5 yards out.
I was gonna say
I
he's got to
don't
be
think he
30
does that.
plus.
And then that's another thing. Well, they have weapons, dude. Like they're just not obviously as good as like I would say the Bears or like the Packers with
Right.
like skill wise. Michael Pittman, they got that Mitchell, and then they got Alec Pierce
Downs.
and
Downs.
Downs.
Josh
Yes,
Downs.
so they got people on that team where
They do.
if Anthony Richardson doesn't want to throw it, because he definitely will just be like, I'm not throwing this 5 yard pass. I'm gonna throw it 85 yards to Alec Pierce instead.
Yep.
That's where it kind of scares me for like fantasy wise too, because if they do get in the red zone, they have bajillions of options to score because they Anthony Richardson can run it himself. Even
Take
Daniel
it.
Jones can run it himself.
Yep.
And then they have JT, and then they still have Molly Cox, whatever that guy's name is. It'd be
Oh,
really
Ellie.
funny if he started taking touchdowns away from him. But no, I just think it's just quarterback play for the Colts for me is what kind of scares me.
That's valid though.
Me too. Do we just want to give a quick, just rundown of our teams very quickly, just very before we go into
Sure.
defense?
Let me do Alex's so I can go back to mine. So he's got quarterback Cam Ward, running back Ashton Genty. Wide receivers are Tet McMillan, Matthew Golden, and a Mecca guy in the Bucks. I'm not even going to say his last name because I'm just not going to say it right.
Hey, Luca.
Tight end is Tyler Warren. Offensive line, I'm sure he has Will Campbell. It's just not here. He has Donovan Jackson. The Wilson guy, is it Javon? Javed? Jared?
Jared.
Yeah, he has Javed. So guard Gray Zabel, and then Calvin Banks Jr.
Cool.
Nice.
While you're switching over to back to yours, I'll go quick. The Bears quarterback here is Cam Ward. My running back is Marion Hampton. My wide receivers are McMillan, Higgins, and Travis Hunter, with Trey Harris as a honorable mention. My tight end is Loveland. My right tackle is Josh Simmons. Right guard is Donovan Jackson. My center is Jared Wilson. My left guard is Gray Zabel, and my left tackle is the beast himself, Will Campbell.
My quarterback, I got Cam Ward, running back Omarion Hampton, wide receivers Tet McMillan, Matthew Golden, and Jaden Higgins. Tight end is Tyler Warren, and my offensive line is Josh Simmons, Gray Zabel, Jared Wilson, Donovan Jackson, and Will Campbell.
Love it. And Cheesehead number two's team. Quarterback Cam Ward, running back Travion Henderson. Wide receivers are Tet McMillan, Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris, with an easy fill-in probably for Travis Hunter. He probably should be on that list, but it's fine. Tight end Terrence Ferguson for the Rams. Right tackle Calvin Banks. Right guard Donovan Jackson. Center, everyone's got Jared Wilson. And left guard and left tackle are Gray Zabel and Will Campbell. Scary team. Scary
It is.
teams.
That could be a really good team.
Money.
Now the
could,
defense.
be very impactful. I think this draft class was pretty solid. Besides, like the quarterback position, it was a pretty deep class. So.
It was
Yeah,
a
there's a
really-
lot of really good players.
Totally different from last year, dude. It was all quarterbacks and wide receivers,
Right.
and this one was all guards, linemen, defensive linemen, and running backs.
Yeah, it was cool for me too because I've been like following the draft a lot more as we've done this podcast. So, I'm knowing all these names I usually don't know, like offensive tackles and,
Yeah, that's fun.
defensive tackles. So, well, that was our offensive teams. We'll see how that pans out as we, get closer to the season and once the NFL season starts. But we're going to move on to our rookie defensive teams, and where you're going to do two edge rushers, two defensive tackles. We've got three linebackers, two cornerbacks, and two safety slots. So we're going to start with our edge rushers. Brennan, who are your two edge rushers on your defensive team?
So I think Universal. I think this is the
Yes,
number one pick is Abdul. I think
Yep,
we all have him.
absolutely.
clearly.
And then this was second one. If you go on the ESPN app, go to the positions and edge. There's a lot of good options. I
A
don't,
lot.
and especially with the fits is what we're doing as well. And I have Donovan Ezereku. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. From Boston College, he's on the Dallas Cowboys. I picked him because he's going to be on the opposite side of Micah Parsons,
Yep.
who's probably going to be playing for a contract or might have a contract by then. We don't know with Jerry. But I have him just because he's going to have to just beat one guy instead of three because everyone will be going after Micah on the other side. So that's why I think he's going to have a pretty productive season.
Yeah, obviously I have Abdul Carter. My honorable mention was that guy. I did not put him in here. I actually went with James Pierce Jr. on the Falcons. They traded up to get him. I just think he's an absolute stud. I wanted him on the Packers pretty damn bad. We took the wide receiver, happy with it. But I think he's just going to be an absolute weapon on that defense. Wherever he's going to go, I think he's going to make a big impact. And I think that he's going to get some of the most production out of the rookies, and he's going to really just fit in there and cause some damage.
Obviously, also had Abdul Carter. I think he's just going to be unreal. That Giants defensive front is actually pretty fucking solid, so we'll see how that pans out. I also went James Pierce Jr. here with the second edge rusher. If you're going to trade up to draft this dude, obviously you're going to want him to have an impact immediately, so I think James Pierce Jr. is going to have better stats than Shamar Stewart or Michael Williams or even I do like the Colts pick too. This guy was my honorable mention. JT like Tuamala.
Ohio State, I think he is.
Ohio State, yeah, he was my honorable mention. But I think
I actually
James,
really wanted him in like the third round, but we just passed
Yeah.
on him, which is
Yeah.
kind of sucks. But
do you want to do Alex's edge rushers, Connor? Or do you not
Yeah.
have his defensive team?
No, I got it. His two edge rushers were Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. as well.
nice, okay,
Nice.
love that. Go give me you and his defensive tackles next, since you got it
Yes.
up.
He has his two tackles are Mason Graham to the Browns, and then Walter Nolan for the Cardinals, their 16th pick.
Cool.
And honestly, I'm just going to go into mine because I actually have the exact same thing. I also have
Nice.
Mason Graham and Walter Nolan as both my D tackles.
Love that. Okay,
Love
the bear here. I don't have Mason Graham. Call it a hot take. I don't think he makes it on here. I do have Walter Nolan though. Bias Ole Miss, but again, the Cardinals defense is poop. So I think Walter Nolan goes in there and makes it an immediate impact. And then my other one was the kind of what we were talking about with John a few weekends ago. I have Derek Harmon, Pittsburgh defensive tackle. He gets to play with Hayward and Keanu Benton, so he's just gonna when one of those guys is out. I think he's just gonna, those two are gonna tire him out, and he's gonna come in and just wreak havoc. And he's very good, so I think he's gonna be very good on that Pittsburgh team.
Love that.
a good pick.
I was really considering putting Harmon over Walter Nolan, but I couldn't do it. I also have Mason Graham and Walter Nolan.
Sweet dude. I'm
I
not
think
getting
just
the vibe
Mason
with you
Graham. I
guys.
feel like
guess
he
I'm
has
not
to
pulling
be
it.
there just for the same reason for your edges. Like on the other side of Graham is going to be Miles Garrett, and if it goes into a double team or something, if somebody tries to help with Miles Garrett, he's going to be able to get through and get to the quarterback. So
He's got short arms, dude. So
That's his
I'm
one
just
thing he
kidding.
does.
I'm
Has
just,
short arms, man.
I'm just
He's the
kidding.
T-Rex out there.
Yeah, really. All right,
Oh,
linebackers. Let's give my three quick. I have. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. I have Campbell from the Eagles. I think every Eagles linebacker or Eagles defensive
Yep.
player that gets picked is immediately a beast. And he's from Alabama, so I think that just makes
Right.
sense. And then I have the Georgia Bulldog, Jalon Walker. And then I have a UCLA dog, Carson Swessinger, Browns linebacker. He was a walk-on and absolutely went nuts for UCLA his last year, so I have him as my third linebacker.
Nice. We have two of the same. I also have Jalon Walker. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I think the James Pierce, Jalon Walker, two rookies on the Falcons are going to be insane. They can do a lot of stuff. I also have Campbell from the Eagles as well. And then my last linebacker is actually going to be Demetrius Knight Jr., the Bengals' second round pick. Um,
He's got to be, dude.
Dude, he looked really good. Looking into him, kind of from what I'm seeing, is that he fits the Bengals' defensive scheme really, really well, as well as some upside for him. He actually forced three fumbles in his senior year in college. So, I mean, having a big guy like that who is strong enough and is smart enough to be able to force fumbles is honestly something that's, I feel like, a little bit underrated. Being able to punch the ball out and possibly get a turnover for your team. I think that's very important, and I think this guy could have a monster year, especially on a shitty defense.
Connor, it kind of sounds like you're becoming a Falcons guy. Not
Big
gonna lie.
Falcons.
Mm,
Not gonna
no,
lie.
no.
You Falcons guys.
Drake
Okay.
London Triple Crown, baby.
Let's go, baby.
That's so funny. So,
Shout out Penix.
my linebackers, think you guys are going to like this list. I don't have Jalen or Jalon Walker, whatever his name is, for the Falcons. He is not on my list. Obviously, I think, they're going to want him to be impactful right away. I don't think he's going to be. I don't know. For some reason, I just think that Falcons defense isn't going to be tremendously great. So I do have Jahad Campbell, Eagles linebackers always pan out. I do have Carson Schlesinger, dog on UCLA. I was kind of just reading about him, watching some of his highlights. He was a dog. And then my third linebacker, telling you right now, this team always fucking does it. They always do it. The fifth round, man. I don't know how they always get good guys in the fifth round, but the Los Angeles Rams drafted a Ole Miss linebacker named Chris Paul Jr.
Shout out Ole Miss, baby.
So shout out to Ole Miss.
Mason's an Ole Miss fan too, I guess.
Right. Shout out to Ole Miss. And shout out to the Rams and their fifth round picks, man. It always works out. Fucking Puka Nakua,
Yeah, dude,
whatever guys are on their defensive line.
their
Big
draft picks are
Trubisky,
actually
whatever.
insane.
So I think Chris Paul Jr. just keeps that fucking trend going.
I think we have to say some prayers that they traded a bajillion first or like a bajillion first round picks or picks in general for Stafford because otherwise I think the league would have been in trouble because they are really good
Insane at picking.
at drafting. I think Jared Verse was like their first round pick in like 4 years.
It was
or
a long time.
something. And look how good he was. So
Yeah, and then their second round pick was Braden Fisk, who was also a dog. I'm pretty sure they were both in defensive rookie of the year voting or whatever. They were an insane duo, especially because they also played together in college, so their chemistry was already on point. So that was just insane.
what do we?
And then Alex's linebackers. He actually had the exact same as me again. He had Jalon Walker, Campbell, and then Demetrius Knight Jr.
Very nice.
Cool.
Cornerbacks.
We actually have like the exact into same defensive team actually now that I'm looking at it. So that's
I
kind
feel
of
like
insane.
defense is a lot less like. I mean, it could be more debatable, but I feel like we're gonna have this defensive class was just like you got your positions, you got your guys, like they're just
Yeah.
clearly better. But what is
As
going
Brennan's
on?
just fucking beeping over there.
Jesus.
I'll do my corners here first.
Yeah, and do Alex too.
Yeah, we'll do. We have the exact same, so I can just do it for
Oh,
both.
okay, perfect.
Both of our corners. Number one, I have Will Johnson on the Cardinals. I think he was probably the best cornerback prospect in my eyes. Obviously, he went a lot later than some of these other ones, but I think he's an absolute stud. As well as I have Travis Hunter for corner. I don't. I still really don't know if he's going to play both sides of the ball or if he's going to be more offense, more defense. I don't know. But I think if he does play corner, I think he's going to have a pretty good season at corner. So I'm going Travis Hunter, and my honorable mention is Jadad Barron. I think he'd also be insane
Yeah,
too.
I wanted the Packers to draft that dude.
Me too.
Yeah, sorry. I was plugging in my MacBook and it kept falling out. So I'm sorry that was happening. Um, but then I had my mic right next to it, and it wasn't letting me unplug it, and then I had to like break my computer in half. All right, my two cornerbacks were Jade Barron. Actually, that's one
Yeah.
of mine for the Broncos. He's going to have to face a two. He doesn't have to go against ones with PS2 on the other side, which is insane for him. And he was a dog at Texas. And then Harrison, the Bills cornerback as well. They have Brentford. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right on the Bills as a cornerback. He's a very good young talent. So again, another one of those things where he's going to have to face the two. And there's not very many good twos in the AFC East. So that those two are mine, Jade Barron and Harrison from the Bills.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I had the exact same as Brennan. I had Barron and Hairston. I don't have Will Johnson. I think, he could be good, but just the injury bug is a little scary, and the Cardinals, I mean, who knows what that defense could do. And so, yeah, Barron and Hairston. And I did not have Travis Hunter just because
In general, yeah.
I didn't have him as wide receiver, didn't have him as cornerback. I just don't know
Yeah,
what
I
he's going to play
wasn't
more of, so
I wasn't gonna have him at wide receiver for sure. I think corner he has the best chance, but like I said, I don't know where he's gonna play. If anything, I would keep Will Johnson for my corner, and I would take out Travis Hunter, and I'd put in Jada Barron. I think that would be my pick if I had to switch one. I'd keep Will Johnson though.
I really like that Bills cornerback, dude. I think from
Yeah,
Kentucky.
he's
I
nice.
love
He's
him.
nice. He was another one in my head, but I think these other guys are just gonna be a little bit better. But it's hard to say, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, and he's just a really nice guy. I don't know if you guys saw that
Great guy.
video.
I saw
He
that.
was
I
dabbing up
saw that.
everybody
That's
that was
awesome.
getting drafted. So
I'm happy
I
he got called in the first round. That was sick.
yeah, so that's another reason, and I think he's going to be good. So, and then we're finishing with safeties here. Two safeties. Okay, so my first one, 100%, is going to be Starks from the Ravens. I think we were talking about
Yep,
him a lot last
100%.
week. And then I have two options here, and you guys can kind of decide with what your picks are. I have Mabuka, whatever that guy's name, Drew from Philly. Again, another one of those things where Philly always just drafts really good players on the defensive side. You could be a no name, and he's going to show out and be an All Pro. Freaking, they picked up a guy on the practice squad, and he was an All Pro next year. So they just know what they're doing. And then a shout out to Xavier Watts, Falcons, Notre Dame safety. I think him with Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, there we go. No, Jesse Bates, there we go. Thank you,
There,
Brandon.
yeah.
I think that duo is going to be insane. I'm really excited for him as well.
Nice.
Good picks. Me and Alex had the same, so I can go over both once again. Obviously, Malik Starks, that guy is supposed to be insane, and I think he could do great things on the Ravens defense. And then, shout out to the NFC West winners, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going Nick Amenawari, or however you say it. He's going to be my other safety. I think the Seahawks drafted insanely well. And I think they're getting a stud with Nick Amenawari. He's going to be insane. Kitty.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Yep, I went with Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Very, very solid pick. And then I went with the third round pick. I skipped past Iman Wari because, fuck the Seahawks. They're not winning that division. And I think I was going to go Makuba or whatever it is, but I think, the Eagles already have, just such a great defense. So I think maybe he just might not get the fit. I went with Kevin Winston Jr. to the Titans out of Penn State.
Nice.
I think, Penn State was solid. I think he could fit in.
Ooh, I
somewhere
did look
there.
at that guy. That guy's good.
Yep.
Penn
What
State
do we-
was solid, man. So, yeah, Starks and Winston. And
I'll
that
give a
is
quick
it
little
for
rundown
the defense.
because
Yeah, let's do our
me and
rundowns.
Alex have the exact same team. Um,
That's so funny.
yeah, that's actually kind of insane. Our edges are Abdul Carter, James Pierce. Defensive tackles, we have Mason Graham, Walter Nolan. Linebackers, we have Jelon Walker, Campbell, not going to say it. And then Demetrius Knight Jr. Corners, Travis Hunter and Will Johnson. Honorable mention to Jadon Barron. And then safeties, we have Malik Starks and Nick Amenaware.
Cool beans. The Bear here, my defensive edges were Carter and Donovan Azaruku. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. And then my tackles were Derek Harmon and Walter Nolan. My linebackers were Campbell, Walker, and Swessinger. My cornerbacks were Jadi Barron and Harrison from the Bills. And then my safeties were Malachi Starks, Drew Metabuka. And then honorable mention was Xavier Watts, Falcons safety.
Nice. And then Cheesehead number 2 is defense. Edge rushers Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. My defensive tackles were Mason Graham and Walter Nolan. Linebackers Jahad Campbell, Carson Schwessinger. God, I hate saying that name. And Chris Paul Jr. Cornerbacks were Jade Barron and Maxwell Hairston. And my safeties were Malachi Starks and Kevin Winston Jr. That wraps up our offensive and defensive all rookie teams for next year. Maybe if Daly's feeling,
I literally
productive
was
in the next
thinking
week
that
or so, she
exact
can make a
thing.
graphic and, be posting our graphic and our teams. So that'll be fun. You guys can vote on, which team you guys like the most. But we are going to move away from the NFL. That was a fun little game, fun little team making thing we did there. And we are going to be updating you guys on the NBA playoffs. So just in case if you haven't been watching, we're going to go through each round, talk about maybe some maybe picks or predictions for the teams that are already we know that are going to face each other. We can maybe talk about that. So starting in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder swept the Memphis Grizzlies 4-0. They move on to the next round. Any thoughts on that series from you gentlemen?
Get the brooms out. I
Yeah.
don't think you got to say much.
Yeah, they can't compete.
No, we talked about it last week. I think it was 3-0 at the time. Just needed to win one more game, and it was close this game. But yeah, it's disgusting. I hate the Grizzlies. We could do what the losers. You know how we were kind of doing for the playoffs for the NBA or NFL last year. We can do it for the
Yeah.
NBA. What do we think the losers are going to do? The teams that get eliminated, Grizzlies, hire a coach and maybe blow it up.
They did. They did.
Well,
They
okay,
hired a
sorry,
coach.
sorry, you're right. They did hire a coach,
Yeah.
but blow it up. I think that's the main thing for me is see what you can get for Ja, test the market for Bane and Jaren, but obviously don't trade it for pennies like they did Luca. But I don't know. It's what's this like year 7 for Ja? It's just not getting any better. So we're gonna,
Is it really? I feel
my
like it's
opinion.
only
I
like 5.
what
But I feel like it's only year 5 for job, but it could be. God, I don't even
six,
realize
five,
how
six,
long.
7, at least 5. So and
Right.
if they haven't gotten to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, this is 6. Yeah, holy crap.
Going into 7. So
Damn.
I don't know. I just think lot of stuff should happen with that team this offseason.
Yeah. Connor, anything to add?
No, they just couldn't compete. I already said that, but that was just so expected.
Yeah, it's gotten to that point where, Jaren and Bane and Ja, they're all really good individual players in my opinion, but I just don't think they
They don't
mesh
fit
well
together.
together.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they've gotta move some guys around clearly and
Get
find
Jaren out of there. Jaren is such a fucking good player, and he's so underrated. He needs to be in a better position.
very, very underrated. And I think the Grizzlies could work, better if, Ja maybe is that primary scorer. And Jaren doesn't have to score 20 to 25 points a game. But yeah, Thunder will be facing either the Nuggets or Clippers, and I think that's going to be decided tonight at 6:30 p.m. Just quick prediction, Brennan then Connor, who wins Game 7 tonight? Has your mind changed since our last podcast at all?
That's my boat sound for the Clippers. Clippers in 7, baby. I know I said if they got back to Denver it would be Nuggets, but I'm sticking with my pick. I'm gonna go Clippers. This is the best series of round 1 by far. It's not even
Clearly.
close. We've gotten some master classes from everybody in this series. Playoff riser Kawhi. You got Jokic having some good games. Jamal Murray is insane. He had his insane game. Harden's playing out of his mind too. And then you got fucking Zubac, Powell. You got Christian Brown playing good. It's serious. I'm sad it's gonna end tonight, but yeah, I got Clippers still in 7.
I still got the Nuggets. I think I said Nuggets in 6 last time. After they got the win, I thought they were going to be able to go back to back and finish a series. Didn't happen. But especially going back home, I think they're just going to get it done tonight. It's an elimination game. Jokic is going to take over. That entire Denver team is just going to know, like, hey, we got one last game in us, and we're moving on to the next round. So let's play well, and I think they're just going to click really well, play some tough defense. And I don't know if the Clippers really have it. They made it this far. And I think the nerves might get to them a little bit, being like, hey, we're about to knock off, the best player in the world, and I think they might crumble a little bit. So I got Nuggets in 7.
Nice. Yeah, I think I had Clippers in 6 originally, but fuck it, I'll add an extra game on there. Clippers in 7, baby. Put Yes, I think
Awesome.
Kawhi Leonard elimination game, baby. Do not fuck with Kawhi during elimination games, man. I think this is a 35, 6, and 5 Kawhi game where he's like 6 of 7 from deep. James Harden double double, Zubats double double, baby. Norman Powell's hitting some threes. Nick Batum's out there in the fourth quarter, man. I think the Clippers are gonna stun Denver.
Dude, imagine like if the Lakers, I know we're talking about them in a second, had Zubac. That'd be such a good center for them to have.
My
It'd
God,
be
and
insane.
they
Imagine if
trade
Zubac
like
is so good. He's actually such a good center, dude.
they trade all their
Come to the
big guys
Bucks.
away.
imagine if they had him. It's not like they fucking traded him for poop. But
Yeah, right, exactly.
no,
So,
I'm excited. Sorry, one more thing. I just
yeah, you're
want to
good.
give this series a little bit more praise because it's insane, and I'm very excited to watch the game tonight.
Oh God, yeah, hell yes. So that would mean that whoever wins tonight is going to go face the Thunder. We'll talk about that series as the weeks go on. So moving on to the 3-6 matchup. I'm repping the losing team right now, man. Got my Lakers sweatshirt on. They looked lost that entire series. The Timberwolves took that series 4-1. One game, five. What was that? Last night or two
Two
nights
nights ago,
ago?
yeah.
2 nights
Dude,
ago,
yeah.
103-96. So Timberwolves advance. How are we feeling about the Lakers? What do they need to do? What is going on?
Um,
Um,
Luke, go ahead, Connor. We'll talk. You can talk first.
I just want to say Anthony Edwards is absolutely insane, and I think there's conversation for him to possibly be the best playoff performer there is right now. As well as I honestly think that there's a conversation that he could be like the third or fourth best player in the entire world right now. Um, I think there is a conversation for that. Um, and honestly, I think the Lakers need. I don't know. It's so
I
tough.
feel
I
like I'm.
honestly think the Lakers need to like get like move away from LeBron, which probably isn't going to happen because I think he might only have 1 year left. Like honestly, I think especially after this loss, I don't think LeBron's going to want to retire and not play another season. So I think coming into this year, he's going to announce his retirement as this is his last year in the NBA. So I think he'll retire as a Laker. But I think if the Lakers are going to do anything, they have to make Luka the number one option. They have a big three, and the three is good. But besides that, the rest of their team is just not on the same level as the rest of these other teams, which I think is causing a big problem. So I don't know what's really going to happen with them, but I can tell you that Anthony Edwards is one of the best players in the entire world right now, and he is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Starting talking about this series, I'll start with the Lakers. They needed big. I think it was obviously shown that and when this matchup first came about, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. Just I didn't tell you guys, but I was worried because they go huge, and not we. Wow, let's not say we. The Lakers, they ran out Jackson Hayes for 15 minutes and then played a 6-8 at the 5 for the rest of the series or game. JJ Redick kind of showed his cards a little bit, showing how that he is a rookie coach. But yeah, they need a first thing first for this offseason. Rob Pelinka, you need to get us. I'm not saying us again.
You
Wow.
are, you are. You can keep saying us. We know, we know.
We need to get a center. I'm just gonna say we, whatever. Mark Williams, like Mason said, would have been sweet. That would have been awesome because Dalton Connect didn't even play, so I don't understand why they made that such a big deal. Luka needs to get in shape. The pick aside
Yeah.
guys were kind of talking about that. He gave you 30, but that was in 3 quarters, and then the fourth did nothing. But again, the Mavericks team was very good and had lob threats. The Lakers did not have that, so he was doing a lot of ISO stuff and getting picked on the defensive side. So this offseason, I would just tell him to run 18 miles a day and get ready to play, almost 40 minutes a game. 26 years old as a professional athlete, he should be able to do that. LeBron, he's the GOAT, but he's definitely showing his age a little bit at the end of these games, playing so many minutes and not really producing in the fourth quarter either. Neither of those two were very good in the fourth, won't lie. And then the third option, the best third option in the league, Austin
Reeves.
Reeves.
Sucks.
he was poop.
He
You
was
look at the
terrible.
game logs, you can see that he put up 17 a game. If you watch, that's why the box score is scary because in like what was it, game 4, he had 0 points going into half.
Yep.
He shot like shit from the three majority of these games, and I'm hearing a lot of people like on social media saying they should trade him, and it's not looking like the worst idea right now. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in their offseason. And the Minnesota, keep it short and sweet. Anthony Edwards, that guy is insane.
I
Julius
definitely did just buy an Anthony Edwards shirt off TikTok Shop. Definitely did.
Fire,
Definitely
fire,
did.
fire. Julius Randle is playing out of his mind. Again, they went small, so he was just babying anyone. Even Luka, he was babying him every time they would tell him to come in, or Austin Reeves, or LeBron, majority of the time. But yeah, they just went big and just out rebounded us and made Rudy Gobert actually look like a good basketball player, which is insane to say.
God. 27 and 24 in game 5 for Rudy is just ridiculous. And there's nothing you could do because your biggest guy, like you said, is LeBron out there. So, yeah, I'm going to start with the Timberwolves here. I originally had Anthony Edwards as my MVP for this season. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I have so much respect for that dude. I want to talk about his defense because he was getting in LeBron's head, man. He is physical. He talks shit. He does not care. The swag he has, man. Anthony Edwards is built for the playoffs. So the Timberwolves
He
team,
is.
I personally think it doesn't matter if it's the Rockets or Warriors. I think they're advancing next round. We'll talk about that later, but I'm really high on that Timberwolves team after what they did to the Lakers. And with the Lakers, man, the only person that's able to stay, the only person that they should absolutely keep is Luka. And LeBron, obviously, because, he's not going to go
I
anywhere.
think
But
if they get rid of Luca or they don't give him a contract, he's retiring. So there's no way,
Yeah,
there's no reason to trade LeBron. He will just retire. He's not
exactly.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You
right,
got
exactly. So,
one last year, and he's not going to retire this year. He's not going to
exactly.
go out like that, losing first round of the playoffs. Be like, yeah, I can't do next year. It's like, yes, you can. You got one more in you, no matter what it is.
It's
Right.
like, all right, hey, real quick, LeBron, come into my office. We traded you. I retire.
I
You can,
retire. Can't trade me.
yep.
Good try. So yeah, I think Luka, LeBron will go for one last run next year, and then who knows what they do. But their number one need, big, young, athletic center. So we'll see if they can get that done.
Honestly, if they just tried to build the Dallas Mavericks with all the bigs, that would
Right.
just be a perfect. Because that's what Luca loves. He just loves pick and roll and throwing lobs to a athletic big.
Yeah.
Jackson
And
Hayes
then
could do that, but he just I don't know why JJ Redick wasn't playing him. It was so weird. After the 14 or the 17 or 18th rebound Rudy got, it's like, hey, maybe you put in a big, and then he goes, okay, I'll put in Max Kleba that hasn't played since February. Cool. So
good solution.
there's a lot of people to blame for the Lakers. It's just really sad, and I think Nerd Sesh guys were talking about it. I think we drank the juice way too much on this team.
We did.
Just
Yep.
the duo is insane. On paper, it's awesome, but it's the rest of the team just wasn't very
Right.
good.
Yeah, it's the
Right.
big three, the big two, whatever you want to say, and then just the rest of the team isn't there.
Yeah.
The
Like
bigs,
Brandon
man.
said, dude, make the Mavs and Austin Reeves, like he could be your like Kyrie Irving. Like obviously he's not as good as Kyrie, but like he could be that same, Luca's the one, then you got someone who can also make plays by themselves next to you. So
I saw
definitely
I
gotta get
saw
some of those.
a trade. I wanted your guys' opinion. It's obviously it's just these two players, and then you got to figure out the rest. Trade Austin Reeves for Walker Kessler.
Yeah.
I think they obviously you got to add more stuff, but those two would
Yes.
be the big names in the trade. It's a big that shoots threes a little bit, but he's a big that gets rebounds, and I think that would be insane get for them. And like you said, I think LeBron and Luca are the only two guys really safe after Austin Reeves literally got picked on all series against the Wolves.
Right. Yep, well, we'll see what they do, and we're going to move on to the next series, which also is going to go into a Game 7. Rockets Warriors will be playing tomorrow night in Houston. We'll just do quick predictions to keep this moving. Brennan, who wins Game 7?
Rockets.
I
I think
agree.
they're just gonna keep the mojo going and shout out Fred Van Fleet.
Yeah, good God, 29, 8, and 8 last night. It's ridiculous, but
I
dude,
thought
the real hero of this series. You guys know who it is. You guys know who it is.
Steven Adams.
fucking Steven
The fucking
Adams.
goat.
Dude, he's
Dude, I thought the Warriors were gonna get it done last night, and they lost,
Same.
and they're going back to Rockets territory, and I think the Rockets get it done.
Yeah.
Fred heard the noise, dude. He heard everyone on Twitter, including myself, um, shitting on him. I literally posted out another tweet yesterday after his 28 game. I said all it said was sorry, Fred. That's all it said.
Sorry. Yeah.
He,
Dude, and
it's insane.
crazy. They're doing this. They're winning these games with Jalen Green shooting like fucking 4 of 18 from the field. Like Jalen Green has had one good game this series, and they're going to a game 7. So if you're getting Fred VanVleet to score 25 points, Şengün's being a dog, Amen Thompson is just an absolute pest. I think the Rockets get it done as well.
That's why I gave a little reaction when you said that the Timberwolves fly by the next series and win that too. If the Rockets do win and it's Rockets Timberwolves, dude, that they are literally a identical team to me. Those two they both go
Yeah.
big. They have three bigs that they can throw out at each other. They have very athletic guards with
Right.
Anthony Edwards and Asar Thompson. Obviously,
Amen.
Edwards is a man. I keep doing that. Dang it. The Thompson twin is very athletic.
Yeah.
Obviously, not as good of a scorer. And then you got Dylan Brooks and Jaden McDaniels, who are both defensive guys.
Right.
So I think this series would be insane. I'm hoping the Rockets win.
I know.
'Cause
I really want to see that series.
Then that would mean Curry lost at 3-1 again.
Yep. That'd be hilarious too. And I think, I think my mindset was, you know, yeah, we'll get moving on. We'll get
Yeah, I'm
moving
sorry.
on.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
no, my mindset was Warriors Timberwolves, but next up, Cavs Heat. We don't really have to talk about this. The Cavaliers just mollywopped the Heat for nothing.
Cavs are really fucking good.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on that one?
Uh, I know I said we should do stuff for losers. I have no idea where the Heat go from here, so I have no idea. Go Cavs.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much same here. The Heat are in a bit of a pickle. They have some stuff that they have to figure out what they're going to do with that team, but at least they got a good coach. You know what I mean?
Yep. they
Please
got
win
Hero
next
and
series,
Graham.
Cavs. Please win next series. Please, please.
Please, because yeah, we'll skip over that. We'll talk about that last. But Knicks Pistons, honestly, one of probably the second best series in my opinion. Knicks get it done in 6. Jalen Brunson clutch 3 to win Game 6, 116-113. What happens with the Pistons?
Uh,
Does anything
I don't,
have
I
to
don't,
happen?
I don't think anything happens. I think if anything, they go into this offseason with like the same team. Maybe move a couple people around because it always happens. Some contracts are expired or something like that. But this team has a really good base right now. Everything is kind of set up. They made the playoffs after having such a shit year last year. I think they're a team that you have to watch out for going into next season because now they know that they can make it to the playoffs and they can play competitive basketball against some of the best teams in the league. So I think got to watch out for the Pistons.
Agreed.
yeah, I don't know what the contract looked like for Beasley and Tobias, but I'd try to bring at least one of those guys back, and then just get everybody healthy. I think Stewart wasn't available for any of these games. I think I saw something. Paul Reed, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I think I saw him out there, and I'm like, okay, that's disgusting. And then Jaden Ivey. I think if you get him
Oh yeah.
healthy and going, because he just relieves pressure from Cade and he can also score on his own. So I think that if they bring Dennis back, they get Ivy, Malik or Tobias, and get Stewart healthy, dude, they could easily surpass the Bucks in the standings next
Okay.
year. I
Yes.
think. So
Clearly.
I
Clearly.
think they're going to be pretty deadly.
It's all about youth, man. I think you got to have younger guys if you want to do something in the NBA, and I think the Pistons are looking very bright.
Oh, and the
So,
Thompson twin. So that guy
Thompson, yep.
they're-
Jalen
those
Duren,
two
dude.
those two twins are the best athletes I've ever seen in my life.
They're
Dude.
insane. They are
Yeah.
freaks.
Yeah. And then again, we don't have to talk about this series because it was clearly going to happen. Boston won that series 4-1. Shout out to Paolo and Franz. They were doing their thing, and especially Paolo. But does anything happen with the Magic? I feel like something's got to happen with one of those two, to be honest.
Bring in
Yeah.
the best available 3-point shooter. Again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
try. Like, and maybe another
KCP is
scorer,
nice.
maybe trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But no, they need KCP was the trial, and that was an error. So that experiment sucked. So you got to bring in somebody Corey Joseph should not be starting point guard for your team. Obviously, I know Suggs was hurt, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, they got to bring in something to relieve the pressure from Paulo and Franz.
Yep.
Yeah, those two are insane, especially Paulo. He's actually one of my favorite players in the league. He's just an absolute freak of a basketball player, but they need a better supporting cast around him. Obviously, they've had a couple of injuries and stuff. The team was decent in the middle of the year, and then some injuries happened, whatever. But yeah, they just need help with some role players and supporting cast around them, and they could be really, really good.
So the Knicks will be playing the Celtics again. We'll talk about that series as it starts next couple days here. And again, Cavs are going to be playing the Pacers because the last series we're going to be talking about here, Indiana, the Yes Sirs, they won 4-2-1 against our Milwaukee Bucks, and this is probably going to be the biggest off season in franchise history.
For
So
sure.
we'll start with Brennan here. Brennan, is there anything you want the Bucks to do? Is there anything that you're scared about? You know, obviously there's a lot going through our minds after that just heartbreak of a loss and shit series. So I think we've gotten over. I think we've gotten over it. Now we're kind of just moving on. We're starting to think about the off season here. So what's going to happen with our team?
I just want to give the shout out to the Celtics. They're a very good basketball team. But going to the Bucks,
Yes.
there's two
Oh, sorry.
options. Obviously, keep Giannis or don't. If we want to try it again, I guess, and maybe hopefully, what the medicine we got nowadays, hope that Dame can come back by like December, I guess. I don't really know how long that injury is gonna be. We'll keep it posted, obviously, but that's the sad thing about this injury. Maybe he was rushed back with his blood clot because I think that was the same, calf area that he was dealing with, which sucks. And he's 35, maybe going on 35 years old, which is never easy at that age, and the amount of miles that he has on his body. So I really don't know. We have a lot of free agents and no first round picks until like 2031. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it is looking really scary for the Milwaukee Bucks. And if we do trade Giannis, I know in the moment I'm gonna hate it and I'm gonna be super upset, or if he requests out. But we better get a good return because
Yeah.
he is he's the best Buck we've ever had. So we got a championship, guys, but I don't know. It could look gross in the next 20 years. So
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think that Giannis deserves a little bit better. I think we do end up getting rid of him. As hard as that is to say, and as much as that sucks, I just think that's what has to happen for this team. If we're gonna get anything in return to really start a rebuild, you have to get rid of him because he is just worth so much that we can get a lot of things in return, whether it's players or draft picks. I did see a hypothetical trade video on my TikTok a little while ago, and it was somehow the Bucks acquire like Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and Wendell Carter, and then we somehow traded for the number one overall pick, and we draft Cooper Flagg, and then Con Knipple. I don't know how it worked out.
what?
He had a whole video. I don't remember how it worked, but yeah. I think honestly, Dame getting hurt also really sucks because I honestly think we would have traded Dame as well just to get, you know, pieces in young players, draft capital, whatever it may be. But now that he's hurt for like a whole year, pretty much, it's gonna be. Um, we can't trade him because no one's gonna want him. So we're trading him for pebbles at this point. So we automatically lose out on so much capital. And then
Yep.
Giannis, I mean, you got to try and get a younger player in return and some picks. I mean, you could go to most teams and, get like a star player, a good role player, then maybe like two first round picks. And honestly, I think that's just what has to happen. I mean, looking at who has the best odds right now for the number one pick, it's the Utah Jazz, the Washington Wizards, and the Charlotte Hornets. Then after that, it's the New Orleans Pelicans. So I mean, you could maybe go for a Zion, but he's just not the same. And he's also injury prone. The Utah Jazz have Laurie Markkinen. There's a lot of ways to go, and just none of them are gonna make you feel the same as Giannis being on your team. So
Right.
I think he's got to go. You got to get draft capital and young guys, and it's just time for the rebuild. Sadly,
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the
I had
draft
a
lottery. Let me go, and then you can go. Sorry,
Here you
sorry,
go.
Mason, for
No,
cutting you off.
no, you
Um,
are okay.
the tankathon thing, I don't really know if it says it on there at all, but I think the Spurs have something with the Atlanta Hawks pick. I'm not really sure if it might be top three protected or something like that. But I saw the thing if the Spurs somehow get 1 and 4, uh, we trade for 1 and 4 and maybe like Vassell or something, and then build through
Yeah.
that. I
Yep.
don't know. It's off season, like Mason said, is going to be scary.
The most impactful offseason in franchise history. And dude, that Dame injury, it ruined everything because he was going to be the trade piece that gets you those first round picks
Yeah.
and just a bunch of younger guys. He goes down, so now we have to keep him and his fucking contract. So now it's like
Yeah.
the only person that's worth any fucking thing on this team is Giannis. And I agree. I think that in order for the Bucks to, not completely suck for the next 20 years, I think you have to move him. It hurts,
You
and
know,
he's going to absolutely dominate wherever he goes. But if we want to see the Bucks be competitive in 5 years from now, when we kind of suck these few years, we're gonna have to move on from him. We need first round picks. We need to rebuild because if we just keep Giannis and a bunch of just guys we get on 1 year deals for $5 million, it hasn't been working out these past 3 4 years. Torian Prince fucking sucks. I mean, he was great in the regular season when he was shooting 45% from three, but he ended up shitting in the playoffs. Kuz, dog water. The only person worth anything right now is maybe AJ Green.
we got to
Bobby
sign him back
Portis.
too, and we got to sign both of those guys back, dude.
Kevin Porter needs to come
Agents
back,
are
and in
disgusting.
my opinion, Gary Trent needs to come back.
We
I
got
think
to
we need to
get
keep
on our
those
knees
three
and beg.
guys. Right. Other than that, fucking Brooke Lopez, you're dead to me. Bobby Portis, I mean, love Bobby, but we can move on from him because he just thinks he's God every time he comes on the court. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking because I'm very very scared and worried about this team, and it can go so many ways. So, we'll just have to wait and see.
Whatever it is for Giannis, it fucking better be worth it. You better over
Yeah.
ask for everything. If you're gonna trade him and you want to just see where you're at, you over ask for everything. Their best player on the team, like 2 or 3 first round picks, another like good role player, maybe more picks. Like I don't know, you over ask because if we're gonna get rid of him, it cannot be for a steal. I don't want like a role player and like 2 first round picks because of some
Okay.
contract or getting older. It better be a fucking big move.
Right.
It
If I'm
better
coming, yeah,
if I get an alert and it's a Luka Doncic ass trade,
I'm
Pfizer
done.
might be in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. And we just hired Horst to like a 2 year extension. So if he does that and he's here for another 2 years, like
I
fuck.
I people that were
Nope.
excited about that, I never understood that.
Yeah.
What good draft pick has he made since 2013, dude? Let's be real.
Right. Exactly. Not fucking one.
But he gave
So
us a ring. Well, no, yeah, because you got lucky and drafted the Greek god. Let's be
right.
real.
And dude, and let's be real, like we really lucked out that year with, just matchups and who we got to play and
Yeah.
who wasn't in the playoffs. So
Shout out the
yeah.
Bigfoot of Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
We sold our soul, dude. We literally sold our fucking soul for that championship. And it was worth it because we
Yeah.
got it. So
Uh,
biggest Cavs fans here. Biggest Cavs fans.
let's just finish this episode. I just want to give because I think the series will be starting by the next time we get on here. So we're gonna have to like project and obviously guess who's gonna win these game sevens. But with
Yeah.
the games that are official, I just want let's really fast just
Yeah,
your
let's
games.
really really quick because I gotta go.
No worries, no worries. All right, Cavs Pacers. I got Cavs in 5.
Cavs
I
in
got
5.
Cavs in 5 as well.
Pacers are
Perfect.
going to steal one at home.
We'll go more in depth next week. Knicks Celtics. I got Celtics in 5.
I'm gonna go Celtics in Celtics in 5 also.
I've got Celtics in 6. I think they're going to
Yep.
win their last game in New York at the Garden.
Love that. And then for the Thunder, I got the Clippers winning, so I got the Thunder in 7.
I'm going
That's
Thunder in
exactly what
6.
I had.
Thunder
I
in
had
6.
Thunder in 7 over the Clippers, and then that means Connor has Thunder over Nuggets.
Yep. And then the Timberwolves, I got the Rockets winning, and I'm gonna take the Rockets. It would be really funny if they lost tonight, but I got the Rockets winning this series in 7 as well.
Against who? Was it again?
Timberwolves.
Yeah, I'm going Timberwolves in 6.
I got T-Wolves in 6 too. I think Anthony Edwards is just too dominant. I think he would just kill Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. And
I will say
and
though,
Thomas
if it
Edwards.
is the Warriors, I got Timberwolves in 6. I
I got
don't
Timberwolves
think.
in 5 then.
Yeah, I don't think the Warriors match up well with them at
No.
all. But anyways, yeah, Connor, we'll get you out of here so you can go to your
Yep.
game. They better win tonight, or I'm gonna beat your
Yep, they
ass.
better.
Yep. Go
Um,
Crew.
thank you guys for listening to the Cheeseheads and the Bear podcast. You guys have a good rest of your weekend.
Let's go Packers.